Welcome to Mimesis, the podcast about all the twisted ways that art and life imitate each other. I'm Stacey Rourke.
And I'm Sandra Schaefer Zachary.
I stumbled over it. It's the first time I've ever stumbled over it.
It's a whole new system we're trying out here.
It is. It's a whole new world right now.
A whole new world. We are your host.
Yeah, I'm Stacey.
You said that.
I'm still Stacey.
Oh, I love you so much.
Anywho,
do we have business today?
This is going to be our first episode that we are going to put up on YouTube. So we are going to start a Mimesis YouTube channel.
We are.
If you've listened to our voices and you want to see our faces when we stumble our way through here, now you can do that.
Stumbling. That's what I do best.
That's my specialty. Oh, goodness. Yes. So, and now people will be able to see the Nemo door that's behind me.
The Nemo door. I actually have a painted wall.
It looks nice.
I love it so much. Nice. Yeah.
I can't wait to finish it. Oh, yeah. Do you have another coat of paint to do?
No, the painting's all done. I just have to paint the trim and rip out flooring.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be done before you know it.
Soon.
Yeah. Do you know what I need real bad?
What do you need?
Soundproofing equipment.
Yes, you do.
Real bad. I was telling you before we started recording that my next door neighbor's house is the hot spot for kids under the age of 10 in my neighborhood. So I would say right now there's probably more than a dozen kids under the age of 10 playing outside.
Yeah.
So if during this you hear random screams at any point, nobody's being murdered. It's probably just a very vigorous game of tag that's going on over there. So
yeah, that's usually my yard in the summer.
Yeah.
Because there's the 3 houses here. So sometimes it's the middle house, but mostly it's like our yard.
Yeah. Because yours is right there. Yeah.
There.
It's my neighbors. Yeah. It's not my kids. My kids are teenagers and they're on their phones somewhere, but
yeah.
Anywho, so what's going on in your life?
My kid's sick.
Oh, yeah, he's got an ear infection.
He's got an ear infection, almost a second one. He's doing actually pretty good. He asked to go back to school today, and he went.
Well, he also asked to go to Aruba today, so
he did. I mean, I'm okay with that one too. I mean,
what's
I don't
the
know
doctor saying about him going to school?
She said that was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the fever was because of the ear infection, so he already had 3 doses of antibiotics before he went back to school.
Okay.
And he did just fine. Today was their dress like a teacher day.
Oh, cute.
So he was like, I don't want to miss it. He put on a sweater and a bow tie, and I popped out a couple of lenses off of my glasses.
That's adorable.
And he's like, I'm not wearing those. Some teachers don't wear glasses. And I'm like, you're right.
But it was cute.
But it was adorable.
How cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So what's going on with you?
My kids missed school yesterday, but for a totally different reason. Apparently at their high school, there is like a school chat board that like everybody in the school is on.
Yeah.
And somebody under some sort of an anonymous account wrote in a threat to shoot up the school and to start a fire, burn the place down. And the school was like, well, we haven't figured out who's behind it, but we've increased law enforcement. So, we think we've taken all the needed precautions. And as they were sending that, I noticed in the news that there was another school shooting just the other day. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to take the risk. So
nope, it's not worth the risk.
No, I kept the girls home and they did their schoolwork from the kitchen table. And
yep.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No. We'll go ahead and take the added precautions.
I've kept my kids home a couple days this year so far because of that too.
Yep. If there's any kind of threat, then we're not going to take the risk. And the last time there was a situation like this, and the girls did go because the school assured us that everything was okay, some of the students, these high school students, thought it'd be really funny to bring balloons to school, blow them up, and pop them out in the courtyard, scaring the hell out of all these other kids.
Yeah, that's not okay.
No. And I've got my youngest, who's a freshman, is texting me, and she knew what was happening, but she's like, Mom, that's terrifying. Yeah. That's not funny. So, her anxiety was through the roof. So I was like, you know what? Because these kids aren't taking it seriously. No, we're gonna leave home.
Yep. Yeah. So, and that's okay.
Yep. Yeah. That's parenting. That's what it's all about.
I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
So what, a day, miss a day.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're just coming back from spring break. So, they're just now trying to get back in the
yeah, my kids are on spring break next week. So, yeah.
They're not missing anything right now. Now, if they would have missed the week before, that was finals. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah. But in other news, I just released my latest book.
Yes, you did.
Fate Worse Than Death.
And it was so good.
Thank you.
And Amazon, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Amazon finally accepted one of my reviews.
I saw it. Thank you. It was a very kind review. But I want to say a special thank you to all of my readers, because I have a lot of people that are reviewing it. It's only been up for like a week, and it's got like 46 reviews already. Yes. So thank you to everybody for supporting my necromancer and her little undead pig in Fate Worse Than Death, and for showing it some love with those reviews. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazon put me in like jail. I guess I couldn't review anything. So finally, they allow my reviews to go through.
When you guys order stuff off of Amazon, do you order it off of your account or Scott's account?
I don't want to say too much, but I have a different account now. Yeah.
Just because if you don't purchase stuff from your account, they don't let you review things.
Right.
You have to purchase at least $50 worth of stuff.
Yep.
I don't know what the time period is, but they won't let you review unless you do.
It's just $50.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem with that over here.
No.
Amazon would be like, what do you want to review, Stace?
Yeah.
They're calling me by name.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's bad.
Okay. So what is your
mimesis? What is my mimesis?
What's your mimesis this week?
We are going to be talking about the cartoon Anastasia versus the actual story of the Romanov family.
Yes.
And the bunny ears lost princess. And see, we're actually doing a YouTube video now, so I could have done bunny ears, but I didn't. I just said it. That's what happens when you've been recording a podcast for over a year and you think people can't see you.
Yes, but we're still going to put it on the thing. So we do need to say it.
We still need to say bunny ears. But do the hand motion.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about Anastasia.
I always thought that this was a Disney movie.
It is now. Disney.
It is now.
Yeah.
Disney
has purchased it. It wasn't before.
Right.
My kids were scared to death of this movie when they were younger.
Really?
Oh, Rasputin scared the hell out of them.
I can see that. He's creepy.
Yeah.
Emma loved this movie. And I was happy with that because I loved the movie.
Oh, the music in it. Once Upon a December is just such a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And we watched it again. Was it last night, I think, as I was getting my notes together, because I wanted to, as I'm getting the history, I wanted to look at again what's in the movie so I could kind of compare them. And oh my God, the animation in that is just astounding. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
She has probably one of the best wardrobes of.
I was going to say the dresses that she wears are stunning.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the little love story.
Yeah, Dimitri's so
Dimitri.
cute. He's got the 90s boy haircut parted in the middle.
He almost looks like Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
When did this come out?
1997.
When did Titanic come out? It came out in 1998. So
I thought it was 97. Okay.
Titanic came out in 98.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was just that they both happened to have 90s boy hair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So yes, we're going to talk about this a little bit. Bartok was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yes, I loved him.
Voiced by Hank Azaria. Is that how you say his last name? Azaria?
I think so.
Yeah, he was the scientist guy on Friends, amongst other wonderful roles that he's played. But his quotes, I even have to this day, I have a little Bartok that came in a Happy Meal that is holding Rasputin's eyeball, and you pull it out, and he like hops to get the eyeball. It's so cute.
I love it.
I'll have to post a picture of it when we're posting this one live.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. So let's get into it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So in the movie, Rasputin curses the Romanovs, except for Anastasia manages to escape through the hole in the wall, thanks to Dimitri.
Yeah.
Years later, she remembers who she is. There's a whole big thing about breaking the curse, and she reunites with her beloved grandmother. They're finally together in Paris.
Yes.
It's a beautiful story. It's got a beautiful happy ending.
Box.
Yes, their little music box, and the smelling the peppermint reminded her of her grandma. Sadly, that's not how any of this went down.
No.
Not even a little bit. To start this tale, we're going to travel back to 1917 Russia. At this point, the Romanov family had been the most powerful family, both politically and economically, for more than 300 years. They acquired power in 1613 and held it until March 1970. At the end of their dynasty, Tsar Nicholas II ruled over Russia. He and his wife, Alexandra, had 5 children.
That's honestly, a lot of kids.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by their ages at the end, because I think the movie shows them as being younger at the time that the fall of the Romanovs than what they really were.
Yeah.
Olga was 22. Tatiana was 21. Maria was 19. Anastasia was 17. In the movie, it shows her as a very young girl. She was 17. And Alexei, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Alex with an EI on the end. Alexei. Yeah. He was 13. Alex, the youngest, was hemophiliac, which meant any kind of cut or bruise could seriously endanger his life.
Right.
So, you know me, when I learn stuff like this, I become a nerd about it. So when we were watching Anastasia last night, there's a scene in Anastasia's dream where Alex, her brother, jumps off like a cliff into a pond below.
Yeah.
I was like, he was a hemophiliac. He could not do that.
No, he couldn't.
And Madeline, my youngest, was like, Mom, it's a dream sequence. My oldest was like, and it's an animated movie. Most importantly, it's a cartoon.
Most importantly.
Okay, so again, he was a hemophiliac.
Don't get any of those.
I know. Being a woman of strict Orthodox faith, Alexandria, the mother, turned to the church in search of a healer. They connected her with none other than Grigory Rasputin, who was believed to have mystic healing abilities.
Mystic healing abilities.
Let's talk about him a little bit, shall we?
That little video you sent me the other night.
Oh, yeah. Ra Ra Rasputin.
Yeah.
Which I've heard that song so many times before, and I never really listened to the words of it. No. I always thought that it was just like a funny song about him being a ladies' man. And then after researching this, I listened to it. I was like, no, it spells out exactly what happened. Like, that's exactly how it went down.
Yeah.
Siberian-born Rasputin was born a peasant who was known to be more than a little bit of a con artist. He knew how to get by using his wits. Somewhere along the way, it is said that he found religion. Maybe he
Not
did.
the right one.
That's between him and the higher power. Maybe it was just another con.
Yeah.
I have my opinion on what I think it was. I'm gonna let other people form their opinion, but once a con man, just saying.
Yeah.
He was said to be a healer and have the ability to predict the future. Which, if you could predict the future, you might have seen what was coming for him and not accepted certain invitations. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
Right.
Again, that kind of feeds into my con artist theory thing that he said he could predict the future too. Well, in 1908, Tsar Nicholas and Tsarina Alexandra contacted him to help their son Alex with his affliction. Whatever he did for Alex, and I could not find exactly what he did. I'm not sure anybody actually knows what he did. It actually seemed to help. Repeated treatments of whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a placebo that just made Alex feel like he was better. I don't know.
Right.
But it seemed to work. Because of this, he won favor with Nicholas and Alexandra. And they decided to keep him around to help treat their son. Our boy Rasputin celebrated the security of this new position by repeatedly and often getting publicly shit-faced, like on the daily, and nailing any chick he possibly could. Like,
yeah,
he was spreading the love all over the place.
And spreading other things.
Probably. There was probably a burning sensation. I'm just saying. But there was one person in particular that he set his sights on. And in the words of Captain Jack Sparrow, he decided to woo said strumpet. Who was it he was after?
None other.
The wife of the Tsar, Alexandra. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, Ra Ra Rasputin must have had some serious swagger, because he and Alexandra did knock the boots.
No.
Yes. And they weren't subtle about it either. When Nicholas left to lead his troops during World War I, which he's leading his troops in war.
Right.
And Alexandria moved Rasputin right into their bedroom.
Oh, no.
Her.
No.
Yeah. So they could canoodle until their hearts were content. Moved him right in. The way Rasputin weaseled his way into the Romanov family infuriated nobles, the church, peasants that, they ruled over. Literally everybody was pissed by this.
Yeah.
And their rage grew when he basically began ruling the country through Alexandria.
Right.
Like, she would have to make decisions in her husband's absence, and she would consult with him before she did anything. So he was making decisions for the country.
Right.
And
he had no say.
No, none at all. Not only was he making, these decisions, but he was making decisions that went completely against, like, the Romanov agenda. This was during World War I, and he was plotting to make peace with Germany during that time. Like, dude.
No.
So people were already beginning to feel like there was some corruption in the Romanov dynasty, and this really fed into it big time. Around this time, a group of nobles came up with a plot of their own. The enraged horde was led by Prince Felix Yusupov. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. He was the husband of the Tsar's niece.
Okay.
Along with him, Grand Duke Dmitry Pavlovich.
That sounds right.
Who was Nicholas's first cousin, was also leading this this.
So that's where they got the Dmitri name from.
Yes. On December 29th, 1916, mere months before the fall of the Roman Empire. So in the movie, they show that Rasputin was really part of the fall of the Roman Empire, Romanov Empire. His death kind of preceded it. It did feed into the corruption claims against them. So absolutely, it did have something to do with it. Yeah. But he wasn't part of bringing the Romanovs down, like as plotting against them. It was his involvement with them
that brought them down.
Yeah. Or maybe was like the final nail in their coffin, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
So anyways, December 29th, 1916, the two men, Felix and Dmitri, lured Rasputin to Yusupov Palace. Basically invited him for dinner.
Right.
They fed him a fine meal with delicious wine, all which was laced with cyanide.
There was something added into that.
Yes. To their surprise, he didn't react to the poison.
He knew. He took an antidote.
He did something. I don't know. When he didn't die because of the poison, they shot him at close range and left him for dead.
If one thing doesn't work, you got to do the other.
They left him for dead, or so they thought. Rasputin came to and tried to escape the palace grounds. So this is why people started thinking that he was like involved in some sort of like dark magic, because dude wouldn't die.
Yeah. So that's probably where they got also in the animated film of how he was still alive after his death.
Exactly. And honestly, even after he died, there were people who claimed that they saw him around Russia.
Right.
There, and obviously nobody can say what was to these claims, but there were people that claimed they saw him. So kind of feeds into the rumors. Anyway, so he's trying to escape palace grounds. He's been poisoned. He'd been shot. He's trying to escape.
Yeah.
His would-be assassins saw him trying to make his escape. They chased him down, shot him again,
because the first time didn't work.
Beat the hell out of him.
This time he died, right?
No.
What?
Yeah. Somehow, after all of that, Rasputin was still alive.
Oh my gosh.
Again, that's why people are like, dark magic.
Mm-hmm. How? Like literally, how?
I don't know if these guys were just so bad at what they were doing, or, were you not shooting at vital areas? Were you trying to be like gentlemanly about it? Like, what are you doing?
Right. Are you just shooting him in the stomach?
like if you're kneecapping him, it's not going to kill him.
Right.
Maybe learn a little bit of anatomy before
you shoot hit an artery.
Or the head. Aim for the head.
Please don't shoot anybody, for real.
Don't shoot anybody. But, horror movies, if it's the bad guy, you shoot him in the head. Take a cue from Nev Campbell in the Scream movies.
Right. They always come back.
So now he's been shot, he's been beaten, he's been poisoned, he's been shot again. Frustrated that they still had failed to actually kill him, they tied him up and threw him in the freezing waters of Russia in December. So that's really cold water. Now, if you remember in the movie, Rasputin fell through the ice, and that's actually how he ended up, quote unquote, dead, but not dead. Several days later, his body was discovered, and the two men who conspired against him were actually exiled for their involvement in his death.
By the Romanovs?
Yes.
Okay.
That was her boo. She was pissed, man. She was like, you killed my lover.
No.
Yeah. Nicholas is going to be home soon, honey. Okay. So Rasputin's dead.
Finally.
Let's go back to the Romanovs themselves and the kind of rulers that they were before we get to their fall. Nicholas is remembered as vain and selfish, with desires to basically help the rich get rich and to hell with the poor.
Right.
So,
like other things.
Like a lot of political figures today.
Right.
Add to that Alexandria's religious, the fact that she was just so fanatical about her religion.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was busy diddling their holy man. And she didn't have really the well-being of the Russian people top of mind.
No, she just
She, she was
wanted to be
getting
on
hers.
top of something else.
Well played. Well played. It's easy to look at their failures as rulers and hold them responsible for that.
Right.
But remember, there's 5 innocent kids
Right.
who are about to be caught in the crossfire too. Since this episode is about Anastasia in particular, let's focus on her for a little minute. She's a bright and vibrant young woman, much like they showed in the movie.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that her birth was met with a fair amount of disappointment by her mother and father because she was another girl.
Because they had all girls and then one boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Olga was the fiery oldest. Tatiana was a little bit more shy. But Anastasia and Maria were the middle kids, and they had kind of matching spirited temperaments that earned them the nickname the Little Pair.
Aw.
Yeah. Like in the movie, Anastasia was known to be a little bit of a mischievous thrill seeker. And even while her family was held in captivity, which we'll get to in a minute, we know that she made the most of things by this excerpt from a letter she wrote that reads as follows. We played on the swing. That was when I roared with laughter. The fall was so wonderful indeed. I told the sisters about it so many times yesterday that they got quite fed up, but I could go on telling it masses of times. What weather we've had. One could simply shout with joy. And that's while they're imprisoned.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
That's looking at the bright side of things, trying to keep up your optimism.
This was a silver lining kind of gal.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to have fun. Yes,
the glass isn't half empty, it's half full.
Yeah, she's out there enjoying the weather. She found a swing. She's just going to make the most of it. Unfortunately, like all the Romanov kids, she would be made to suffer for the sins of her parents and ancestors. The death of Rasputin did nothing to appease the pissed off masses.
No.
The Russian people, and they show this a little bit at the beginning of the movie, they were destitute and starving during this time.
Yeah.
And the Romanovs were completely disconnected to this with their own extreme wealth. So these people are starving in the streets and freezing, and they're having these grand balls and banquets. It's just, they were so disconnected from what was happening. It was during the February and October revolutions when the spread of communism began. Thanks to the rise of the, oh God, I'm going to massacre this, Bolshevik party.
That sounds right to me.
Okay. Again, I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. I'm doing my best. It was at that time that the Romanovs were taken hostage. In March of 1917, the entire family was forced to relocate to Alexander Palace. Some say they were exiled there. Others say they were imprisoned. Either way, they were forced from their home and stripped of their power.
Right.
Bolshevik forces weren't done with the Romanovs either. On July 16th, 1918, their soldiers raided Alexander Palace, forcing the Romanovs from their beds and gathering them in the palace cellar. They were shot at point blank range and stabbed to ensure that they were dead, because maybe they learned something from Rasputin. They were no. And this next part is kind of rough. So if anybody, I'm going to give you a minute. If you want to skip ahead a few seconds, you want to step away, by all means do it, because things are about to get a little graphic. After the entire family was dead, they were stripped, stabbed, mutilated, and possibly even violated. So basically the soldiers that were there were defiling their bodies in any way they wanted to. They were making a joke out of it, which is horrendous. Their bodies were then taken to the forest of Yekaterinburg. Yekaterinburg. I am not Russian. I'm sorry. Yekaterinburg. And they were buried in 2 mass graves.
Yeah.
Rumors began that Anastasia might be alive, but that was because the graves hadn't been found. Right. So, there were people that and this rumor went on for
a long time.
A long, long time. There were rumors that the Princess Anastasia might still be alive. It was in the late 1980s that the graves were located, and it was confirmed that all the Romanovs died that night.
Right.
They were all there. They were given a proper burial and were canonized by the Russian Orthodox Church in the year 2000. And that's what actually happened to Princess Anastasia.
She
But
didn't
please
have a
do not
happy end.
repeat. Yes. One last thing, and I kind of found this funny. And I know none of this that happened to their family was funny, but this is going back to the movie. There's a thing that Rasputin and Anastasia say to each other, and they say it in kind of a menacing way where they say Das Vijana, Das Vijana, yes, like that, whatever you just said. That was it. I thought it meant something kind of ominous, like see you in hell, Klaus, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's not what it means. It's
What does it mean?
it's basically a way to say goodbye in Russia. In Russian, it basically means until we meet again. So it makes me think of oh my gosh, what is that meme? Tell the people you love that you love them often and shout it in Russian every now and then because life is terrifying. Just something about the Russian language. It's a very forceful language and it sounds terrifying even when it's
yes. That in Germany too. Like
yes, yeah.
German.
Actually, it might be German that the meme is about. I don't know, but
they're both like I think du hast means like I love you or something. And there's like a whole song and they're like scream it. Du hast. Yeah.
Oh, this didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. This is kind of a short episode, but that's the story. That's the real Anastasia for you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like I knew it wasn't the real story of, sorry, there's something in my eye.
That's okay.
The real story of like the animated version. There was more, an ugly truth. And I really hate that they took it out on the kids.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to do that.
No. And I understand you wanted the Romanovs gone so that like none of the kids could take power.
But you don't know how they think. Everybody has their own opinions. Yeah. And we're not our parents.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I can definitely say that.
You're definitely not your mom.
Yeah.
I can tolerate you. For those watching us on YouTube for the first time, you need to backtrack some of our previous episodes and
a little.
We put the fun and dysfunctional.
We do. Well, our family does.
It does.
But we love our family.
We do. The
ones we like.
The ones we're in contact with.
Excuse me. Anywho.
So that's all I have for this episode.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it was good. This kind of reminded me, watching the movie while I was doing the research, it kind of reminded me of, and I referenced this when I recorded with Rue Valley for Bidaboo. It reminded me a little bit of Jennifer's Body, because you watch a movie that's like kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then you're reading the real history at the same time. And
you're like, oh, no.
This isn't cute. This isn't fun.
Right.
Yikes. Yeah. So.
Yeah. We'll post links to the Ra Ra Rasputin.
We have to.
We have to. It's crazy.
Now that you've listened to all of this, you need to listen to the song and realize that it's not actually just a bop. It's
right.
Really telling his history.
It is.
Yeah. So what's next? What are we going to do next?
The next episode for me is going to be The Lost Girls.
Oh, that's right. I'm excited.
Not The Lost Girls, just Lost Girls.
Okay.
There is a couple movies that will pull up if you put in The Lost Girls. I think
there was a TV show too called The Lost Girls.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. But this just came out in 2020. So.
Okay.
And it's a full-length film and it was really good.
Really?
Like really good.
I gotta watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have my next one that I'm going to do too.
Okay.
And I have to. I'm sorry. It's based on real life, and I gotta do it. I gotta.
What is it?
We're gonna do Cocaine Bear.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Cocaine Bear, and We're going to
Yeah,
compare.
we brought up that one before.
And
You were
I
telling
think
me.
it'll probably end up being a mini episode because I know what happened to the bear and it's not going to end well. But
Yeah.
we're gonna compare it to the movie, and I just want to talk about the movie because I'm excited to watch it because I've heard that it's just absurdly wonderful, and I can't wait to see it.
I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Okay,
you
so we have
see?
homework.
We have homework. Did you see Elizabeth Banks on the Academy Awards?
No, I
She was.
didn't watch any of them.
I didn't watch it either, but I saw the clip,
Okay.
and she had. I think it was some of the computer graphics category or something that she was doing, and she was talking about what Cocaine Bear would have looked like if they didn't use computer graphics, and it was just a guy in a bear suit that came out with her, and it was freaking hysterical. Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I also heard that, she's the director of the movie.
Okay.
And when she agreed to take the job, the script was called Cocaine Bear. And they called it just the working title. And one of the stipulations for taking the job was she was like, you're not allowed to change that title. You have to keep it Cocaine Bear because that's just incredible. It's so dumb. I love it. So yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll have to go and look up that.
Yep. You've got homework and I've got homework. I've got to watch Lost Girls.
Yes.
And there we go.
There we go.
All right. I can't hit stop this time. You're in control.
I have to do it.
All right. So you got to head it off this time.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.